Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Denver. We are so grateful you decided to join us today. Whether you are with us in person or watching online, we want you to know you are welcome here. We are so very grateful you have chosen to spend time with us. We are a place, a space, and a face of love. We are a spiritual community teaching ancient wisdom and new thought principles that empower our lives and the lives of others. We invite you to join us every Sunday at the historic Grant Avenue Community Center and Sacred Place at 216 South Grant Street in Denver, Colorado, and online on our YouTube channel at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. This is a place where all people, in all our diversity, on all our different paths, and with all our individual and unique expressions of life, may come together to celebrate our inherent oneness as perfect manifestations of the one Spirit through the use of science of mind principles. We recognize that our thoughts create our journey, and by affirming love, faith, compassion, and joy, we attract beauty, peace, and purpose into our lives. We give thanks for our uniqueness and our diversity of life, while we celebrate the one life that is all life, God's life. We come together each Sunday to hear inspiring messages by our minister, Reverend Elzia Sekou, and our various guest speakers, as well as share in fellowship and collective conversations. Plus, we trust you will be inspired by our special guest musicians. And now, here is our opening song, The Garden by Eddie Watkins, Jr.
There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden where God's grace blooms. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden where love is sown. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. Such a beautiful garden. That garden is you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Teresa Cardenas, practitioner here at CSL Denver. Just take a moment and close your eyes and go within. project. Sorry, Jerry. I'll speak up. Okay, so going within, knowing this morning is blessed in all that we do, that CSL Denver holds the space for our heart, our light, and for our deeply, deeply grounded faith. And that as we center into that, or move into that space of being centered, we know that the message this morning is divine, well received, no matter if you're in a temple, a mosque, still in bed, sitting in your backyard, anywhere you are, it is well received. And because we are also connected, we know that even if you don't hear this message at some level, it is affecting all. So in this presence of connection, we know that everything is blessed. And as we move forward in this spring light, we know that there is a divine unfolding that is happening for this center. And we just say, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, as we just align and calibrate ourselves with that omniscient energy. And so it is. Okay. Our reading this morning is by Suzanne Bolton. It's entitled, What Does It Really Mean to Be Spiritually Connected? So let's explore, actually, what it means to be spiritually connected or disconnected. We are all navigating the same process of evolution, and all of us will inevitably experience both states of being. Understanding them more fully can empower us to embrace the journey with greater compassion and insight. The concept of spiritual connection or disconnection often arises in discussions about personal growth, fulfillment, and alignment with one's true self. These terms, while commonly used, can carry different meanings depending on the context or individual interpretation. At their core, however, they relate to a person's relationship with their inner truth, the larger universe, and the energy that drives their actions and choices. To be spiritually connected means to be attuned to your authentic self and the energy of life. It is a state of alignment where you feel grounded, clear, and guided by an inner sense of purpose and truth. When spiritually connected, your actions often feel meaningful and decisions are driven by intuition, love, and a deeper sense of trust in the flow of life. This connection transcends external validation and societal expectations. It's about tapping into an innate knowing, a sense that you are part of something greater and that you are living in harmony with it. On the other hand, spiritual disconnection is often characterized by feelings of being lost, unfulfilled, or misaligned. In this state, individuals may be driven by fear, ego, or external influences rather than their inner truth. Disconnection can feel like a clarity or direction. Disconnection can feel like a lack of clarity or direction, as though life is happening to you rather than with you. This state often leads to actions and decisions based on survival mechanisms, people-pleasing tendencies, or societal conditioning, rather than a genuine connection to one's soul or higher self. But what truly causes connection or disconnection? It often boils down to awareness and intentionality. Spiritual connection isn't something that some people are simply born with and others are not. It is a dynamic state influenced by how we choose to engage with ourselves and the world. When we cultivate practices of self-reflection, we create space to listen to our inner guidance and reconnect to our authentic essence. Conversely, when we are overly consumed by distractions, external pressures, or unprocessed emotions, we may drift into so-called disconnection. In reality, both states are part of the human experience, and neither is good or bad. Disconnection can serve its purpose, acting as a signal or invitation to realign or recalibrate. It's in these moments of feeling lost or detached that we often discover what truly matters to us. Therefore, this so-called disconnected state is indeed spiritually connected. The conclusion is this: everyone is, at their core, spiritually connected. This means that everyone has access to a higher source of wisdom, a universal energy or divine intelligence that links us all. It is through this connection that we gain insight into the dimension of oneness, where we recognize that we are part of something far greater than ourselves. With this awareness comes a profound desire to operate from love, authenticity, and alignment. While we may experience moments of feeling disconnected, these are not indications of a lost connection, but rather opportunities to realign with the truth of who we are. It seems so important this year to embrace this understanding, where we can approach both connection and disconnection with compassion, knowing there are both essential parts of our growth and evolution as we continually move forward toward a life driven by the soul. These powerful words from Ernest Holmes, the founder of religious science, remind us that we are deeply connected to the infinite energy of the universe. The ability to create, transform, and thrive isn't something we need to search for outside of ourselves. It's already within us. And he says, all the power of the universe is with you. Feel it, know it, and then act as if it were true. And now we have music by Susan Clark with a song written by Buddy Guy entitled Skin Deep.
Hello, CSL Denver. Susan Clark here to provide some music for your service. I always like to say a special hello and welcome to any of you who might be watching us either now or later online. We appreciate you taking the time to check us out. This is a song by Buddy Guy, and it's called Skin Deep. I've been around a while, I know wrong from right, and since a long time ago things been always black and white. Just like you can't judge a book by the cover, we all gotta be careful how we treat one another. I say, skin deep, skin deep. Underneath we all look the same. Skin deep, skin deep. Underneath we all look the same. A man in Louisiana, he never called him by his name. He said, boy do this, boy do that, but he never once complained. He knew he had a good heart, but he just didn't understand that he needed to be treated just like any other man. Skin deep, skin deep. Underneath them we all look the same. Skin deep, skin deep. Underneath we all look the same. I sat my little child down when he was old enough to know. I said, I fear in this big wide world you're gonna meet all kinds of folks. I said, son, it all comes down to just one everybody just the way you want them to treat you. Skin deep, skin deep. Underneath we all look the same. Skin deep, skin deep. Underneath we all look the same. Yeah, skin deep, skin deep. Underneath we all look just the same. Skin deep, skin deep. Underneath we all look the same. Skin deep, skin deep. Underneath don't we all look just the same. Thank you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to CSL Denver, a place, a space, and a face of love, a spiritual community teaching universal wisdom and practicing principles that create worlds, And for those of you who tuned in this morning expecting Reverend Paula, I am not Reverend Paula. Reverend Paula has had a little illness, and she called me and apologized profusely. And I said, take care of yourself, not a worry. So I am here today in her stead and wishing her well and speedy recovery. And we're gonna, as Ray Charles said, if you saw the Ray Charles movie, Ray Charles said, it's gonna do what it's gonna do. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna allow the spirit to do it. And so today we wrap up our monthly series on what if, that question of what if. And today we are looking at this idea of practicing the imagined world the way you want to see it. The way you want to see it. We have a saying in CSL that says, a world that works for all. A world that works for all. So how do we begin to imagine that? What does that mean? And what do we have to do to bring about a world that works for all? Now, I would submit the very first thing we have to do is get a very, very, very good understanding of what all means. Sometimes people assume all means just all people, but it also means all plants, all animals, all microbes, all minerals in the soil, all stuff in the air that we can't see. All means all. And so how do we begin to imagine a world that works for all, for everything? Now, you know, this is the core teaching or the core belief or the core vision of Centers for Spiritual Living, a world that works for all, where we get along with each other regardless of experiences, of representation, of how you show up, so that we can begin. We talked last time about this great song called Universe, one song, all together. And so how do we begin to imagine that? Now, when we work with this idea of imagination, that does not mean some kind of flimsy, flopsy language, right? Sometimes when we talk about imagination, we look at things, or some people, I know we don't do it. There's some other people that do it. We ain't criticizing them. That's just where they are. They look at it as some kind of sentimental language or wishful thinking. But in reality, It's a disciplined way of seeing the world. That's what imagination is, a disciplined way of seeing the world, and the ability to look at the world as it could be, or dare I say, as it should be, working together in oneness. Working together in oneness. Now, you know, once we've gotten that vision of imagination, as you will always hear me say, then the work begins, right? Because for an imagination to appear, there has to be first an embodiment. You gotta, you know, if you don't have an embodiment, it is wishful thinking, right? You just, and we have that, and that's okay. But if you really want that vision, that idea, that imagined world to come into being, you have to embody it. Once you embody it, then you begin to practice it. And after you practice it, it becomes a living experience. A living experience. You take, you know, there's this thing for anyone who's taken martial arts, or there may be a martial artist here or in the audience. After a martial artist practice for such a long time to get these high degrees, if you walk up to them too close and wave your hand, if they smack you, it's not because they don't like you. It's a learned behavior. They have learned that if something happens too quick, to defend themselves or to defend someone else. So they imagined, how do I live in this space as a martial artist, which is to protect and serve. Now, let me put it like this. Once we begin to imagine things and allow them to happen, then they become real. They become reality. And Ernest Holmes says this. One little quick statement, and I think this, it really, and hopefully we have the slides, and maybe we don't.
I've lost connections to all slides, Rev.
And if we don't, the slide would have said this. I promise you, it would have said, act as though I am and I will be. Act as though I am and I will be. So if we imagine the way we want to be, and we allow ourselves to act as if, not from some, I don't know if this is going to work, do it with confidence. Go boldly in the direction of your dreams. That's when we begin to create a world that works. And when it works for all. It works for all. Now, this one line teaches this. It's one of, I put it in Ernest's patented way of looking at things. Seed, soil, plant, right? So it's this teaching this idea of the seed. And so when we do that, we act as though peace is possible. We act as though generosity is natural. We act as though justice belongs to everyone. We act as though every person carries a divine seed of worthiness within them. And we act as though love is stronger than hate, fear, separation, and all those other things that sometimes creep in place of love. Because it's very difficult, and you can try it if you don't believe me, it's very difficult for you not to like somebody and be nice to them. Even when you try to be nice, hi. What was that? The energy, this is an energetic world, and these words of love and peace and generosity, they have an energy vibration to them, and they come across no matter how many smiles you put on your face. When you speak or when you act, the energy takes place. So how do you do that? How do you step into that frame of reference of imagining a world that works for all? Well, one way to do it is to realize that what we hold in consciousness becomes reality. I'm sure a lot of you, if not all of you, have heard that statement that says, if you believe you can't, you can't. And if you believe you can, you can. Again, another little scientific experiment we can do with ourselves to see how it works. How it works. And so when we continue with the idea that Dr. Holmes had of this seed, inside the seed is hidden a pattern, a architectural drawing, if you will, a blueprint, if you will, that allows it to come forth. There is a blueprint of an oak tree in the acorn, even if the acorn doesn't even know it. You put it in the right conditions, it happens. There's a harvest in the soil, even though all the seeds you plant in there may not be aware that that's what's happening. It's the same with us. It's the same with us. How do we tap into the blueprint, the architectural design that is in each and every one of us so that we can imagine it into reality? By practicing it, by embodying it, by sharing it, by speaking it, by dancing it, by singing it, right? There's in a world that works for all, that means there are many different ways of expression because there are all kinds of things. One of the greatest things I think in modern times is these, I guess Disney and Pixar and all these movies that they make in animated space now. Because one thing it does, it keeps it light. They can make all kind of crazy characters so you can get beyond physicality, right? You know there's no butterfly with 10 eyes or whatever they come up with, right? But they give you the ability of lightness and imagination, but it gives you a message. It gives you an image in your mind to imagine what it could be like if all these crazy characters work together. Work together. Now, what happens, do you think, if you live in suspicion? If everything you looked at, you were suspicious of it, what kind of imagined world do you think that's going to produce? Right? Yeah. First and foremost, I'm going to be separate from, because I'm suspicious of you, so I'm going to separate myself from you. So if you're walking around with an imagination that everybody's wrong and everybody got something against you and everybody's scheming and you're suspicious of everybody, you are by definition practicing separation. And trying to imagine a world that works for all, that becomes a difficult choice. That becomes a difficult choice. And so you can't allow these kinds of, dare I say, bad seeds. I don't like that. I shouldn't have said that. Bad seeds. Let's say a seed that has not been nourished properly to grow in your garden. You can't do, if I look at the world in contempt, I'm practicing a world of exclusion because I'm in contempt with everything. You know, I'm the baddest bulldog on the block, and I'm looking at contempt with everybody. That does not create a world that works for all. The idea of subtle changes in our imagination, in the way we see things, in the way we react to things, has a great effect on what we do, on how we live. But if I live a life in reverence, in courage, in generosity, in inclusion, I'm practicing a world that works for all. When I do those kinds of acts of service, of kindness, of generosity, I'm practicing a world that works for all. And because we know the world has a reciprocal nature, what I put out comes back. What I put in front, if I hold a $5 bill in front of the mirror, a $100 bill is not going to show up. $5 bill going to still be right there. That's how we have to look at the world. We are a reflection. It is a reflection of us. And that brings us to that idea when we want a new something, doesn't matter, anything, there must be a new pattern, a new architectural drawing, a new blueprint that takes its place. Even if you do what a lot of people are doing now, if you retrofit the old one, you don't have to necessarily tear it all down because, you know, that's like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. But if the bathroom is not working or the kitchen is no longer functioning, we draw a blueprint for a new model of that thing. A new model. So, you know, the Buck missed the film, and I don't know what happened to my slides, and I'm so upset with myself. There's somewhere out there in the ethers making a better world, I know. But Buck Mr. Fuller said, to see something different, you have to be something different. And that's paraphrasing that quote. If you want to be something different, I see something different, you have to be something different. We can't imagine the world that works for all by watching the news all day, by doom strolling on Twitter or Witter or Pitter or whatever the heck we're scrolling on. We cannot imagine a world that works for all if I look at my neighbor and criticize them because they didn't cut their grass as short as mine and I'm thinking it ain't pretty. All these kinds of crazy things that we think to separate, we cannot have that image if we're looking for a world that works for all. It won't work. It will not work. And this is spiritual genius, really, because the old world is not overcome by resistance. It's overcome by replacing it. I ain't calling no names, but somebody had an old car and now they got a new car. They replaced the old car with the new car. Now, that's genius. How many of us are replacing all these things that we see in the world that we don't like within ourselves? Not because I can't control anybody else, but if I take it on within myself, I can reflect it back out. I can reflect it back out so others can see, ooh, I was pretty nasty when I asked the lady at the coffee shop to add some more sugar to it, or whatever I said, right? We don't heal by being hateful. And these things, they sound simple and they are, but we have lived in a world that's so technologically complex now, so we think, that we don't even think about these small things. We don't think about them. We want the world to be like a Harlequin love story all the time. It's just, we're running on the beach and the wind is blowing and my mate is coming towards me, whoever that is, and there's nothing wrong. And there are times when that is exactly what's going on. But in an imagined world that's transforming, that's transformative and becoming something new to accommodate all things, there is sometimes a little bit of turmoil in there. When you plant the seed, before it shoots or sprout, there's a little turmoil going in that seed. There's the pressure of the soil. There's the pressure of the water. There's the pressure of the sun. And at the moment those happen, the seed is like, I don't think I like this. I don't know if I want this. But it is because of that that the seed sprouts and brings forth the fruit. Somewhere in that seed was the imagining of that oak tree from that acorn. And it had to go through the process of becoming an oak tree. It's a new model that we have to look at. So you have to ask yourself, I would suggest, how do I speak when I'm disappointed? These will give us some clues on if we're looking at a world that works for all. When I'm disappointed, how do I speak? How do I talk? Not only to others, but to myself. How do I behave when I have power? When you're the boss, how do you act with compassion? Or do you act like a tyrant or a bully? How do you treat people who cannot advance your agenda? Think about that one. How do you talk to people if you don't think they have something to offer you to make you better or to move you forward? And saying that you have an idea that works for all, you for justice and all of this, but everything appears that you are manipulating and using people for your convenience. A world that works for all. A world that works for all. So what we have to begin to do, I believe, is this. We have to begin, as Ernest said in the beginning, act as if. Dr. King said, the arc of the moral universe bends towards justice. It don't just bend by itself. It takes people to bend it. We have to be the ones to bend this world towards justice by acting as if everybody belongs. Everybody has something to give. When we can have that imagination, everything will fall into place. Prime example is me standing here today. I wasn't supposed to be here. Paula was supposed to be here. I was supposed to be somewhere else. But it just so happened, because there are no accidents in the universe, I changed my mind. She got sick. I was able to be here. And it happens all the time when we can imagine a world that works for all. Getting out of the way. Not trying to put too much of my stuff in there. I got to be alert. I got to be aware. I got to pay attention. But I can't get in the way. Because there's only two things that happen. You're either on the way or you're in the way. So that's the question we got to ask. Am I on the way or in the way to making a world that works for all? I'm trying to imagine this where everybody feels needed. Everybody feels wanted, loved, having something to contribute to the whole. There's a quick story that a teacher did with her students, trying to get the understanding of this idea of practicing imagination of a world that works for all. She came in, she had 2 bowls and a handful of seeds, and she took one bowl, put some water in it, sprinkled a few seeds in it, and said, these are our prayers, these are our well wishes. And they were floating in the water, and they, because of the light, they were shining in different shadows, and they were very pretty. And everybody admired them. But then she took another bowl and she put some dirt in it, and then she put the seeds on it, and then she, stirred it up a little bit, and then she poured some water on it. And the kid said, well, why'd you do that? She said, well, just be patient. So a week later, they came into the classroom, and the other seed that was just on the water, that was sitting on the prayers, was just still there, still pretty, still glistening. But over in that other bowl, sprouts were beginning to come up. And this is what she said. Many people love the idea of a beautiful world the way the seeds sit in the bowl. They admire it. They talk about it. They post about it. They defend it. But they never plant it in conduct, never root it in discipline, never water it with actions, never place it in the soil of community. Teaching the kids a very good lesson that, yes, we have to pray and we have to have this imagined world, but that world has to be practiced. We have to have it rooted in something. We have to take care of it. And when we do that, the mirror gets held up, and what we see is pleasing to the eye. And so to do this, got three things to help us begin to practice this. The first one is this: practice seeing the world through possibilities. Practice seeing the world through possibilities. This is an inner rehearsal. We have to rehearse this inside. We have one of our members today. She's not here. She's singing in a choir. They've been practicing for this performance for a long time. They've been rehearsing, thinking about the possibilities of the concert today. They had to give up any cynicism that they may have had or someone projected onto them. Because we know what cynicism does. It tears your self-esteem down. You become doubtful. You become unsure, and we know you don't want to imagine from that state, from that place of unworthiness, if you will. So when I rehearse, I get better. I practice. I feel good. Your cynicism can't touch me. Look at it this way. Imagination is the preview, and the practice is the performance. So that imagination is the preview of what's to come. And that's what we're trying to do every day. And once we understand this whole idea of imagination and possibility, the second thing is practice acting as if the world is already becoming the thing you want it to be. Now that's hard, especially in today's world. I was just to show you how I caught a flight out of New York City on Thursday. Took me almost 2 hours just to get to the place to show them my check-on slip, right? My boarding pass. And then it was another 30 to 45 minutes to get to where I dropped my luggage off. Now I was cynical. I was cussing. I was looking at people with forked eye, forked tongue, and everything else. Because I mean, that is not the world I imagined. But I had to deal with it, right? I had to preview this world as if it's becoming something different. And then when I got to the place and I showed them, they said, "Oh, you priority. You can go through that line." Wasn't nobody in that line. Saved myself 45 minutes. That's how it works. We have to begin to speak with compassion, even when others do not. Speak with courage, even when others do not. Speak with confidence, even when others don't. We have to build bridges. And the only way to build bridges is we have to be willing sometime to be the first brick in the bridge. When we can do that, we are becoming a part of this world that works for all. Now, you can always ask the question, is that what you want? I mean, some people don't want that, it appears. Right? Some people want a world that works just for them. Unfortunately for them, that's not how the universe works. Time and circumstances will change all. And so that's why we lean into this last practice, which is practice belonging. Practice belonging. A world that works for all requires we to be in it. If my car broke down, I am hoping I got a good mechanic's phone number in my phone, because I don't know what to do with it other than put gas and check it every now and then for oil. I need a we for that to work properly. How are we acting in a world where we can't do it all for ourselves and we're excluding people because of their differences, because of their beliefs, because of the way they look, but because of who they love? Imagine a world that doesn't exist, where everything is honored, where we're all working together. When we can do that, we can move to a level of comfort where all is well. Where all is well. And so to practice the imagined world is to practice belonging, especially when you have to stretch. And boy, don't we have to stretch right now. So let's practice that. Let's practice an idea of believing and an idea of becoming and an idea of being radically inclusive. Whether I understand it or not, there are no accidents in the universe. And when I can begin every day and everything as if there are no accidents, then the only thing that appears is miracles. Miracles just pop up everywhere. That's when we can live a life that we imagine, where everyone is taken care of, where everyone is happy. Doesn't mean you won't be unhappy sometimes. Now, let's not get it twisted. But the majority of your time you are happy. That other part that's not happy, that's the transformative world taking you to another stage. And so with that, let us pray. Heavenly Mother, Father, God, that dual aspect of life, that yin and yang, that ebb and flow that allows everything in the universe to take shape and to have form and to be seen. Knowing that in the mind's eye of God, that there is an image that is perfect. There is an image that is always unfolding and becoming and allowing us to participate. And because we are representations of the Most High God, we stand here today as living examples of what's possible. At once, we were only a thought, maybe an idea in our parents' head, not even material. And now, here we stand, here we sit, ready, willing, and able to be shining lights for what it means to create a world that works for all, to imagine a world that works for all, and more importantly, to practice a world that works for all with love and service and kindness. And so, as we embody that idea, as we hold fast that within each one of our little acorns, there is an oak tree waiting to emerge. And because we hold that idea with confidence and belief and faith and a knowingness, we know it will become true. And so it is in understanding that truth that I give thanks for this teaching, for this community, for this understanding of what it means to have a world that works for all. And so I release this prayer into a law that is always working, that is working right now on our behalf and creating the environments, the people, the places, and the things that allow us to be all that we can be. And so it is in that idea and that understanding that I release, I let go, and I know that it is absolutely so. And so it is. Amen. And because my slides are not working, I don't have my call to actions. However, they will be on the website for this week. So if you go to the website, you will see the call to actions. We always have call to action because we have to practice this stuff. We have to embody this so that it becomes a living example in our lives. And so now it's that time for sacred giving. And we appreciate any way and every way you support this community, whether it's with time, treasure, or talent. And there are many different ways that you can give. If you look across the bottom of the screen, you'll see scrolling. You can go to the website and hit the donate button. You can do text to give, or you can send a money order or check to the old-fashioned P.O. box. But however you give, please give. And if it feels comfortable, if you place your hand on your heart to anchor this idea of giving, this precious gift is spirit informed, circulating and blessing all that it touches. Freely I give, and joyously I receive, and so it is, amen. And so it is, amen. And so now Teresa's going to come up and give us some announcements, and we'll get on with the day.
Way to go on the fly. Okay. If any of you are interested for another spiritual boost this afternoon, New Beginnings, Sage Singers in Concert is at 4101 East Hampden Avenue today at 3 o'clock. Peggy, who is part of our congregation, will be singing in this choir. Okay, that's at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock.
That paper will be over.
I'll put it over here. Yeah. Okay, we still have some extra handouts from last week's community cafe with Reverend Elzia, which he facilitated. It was the Art of Sacred Possibility, opening to what wants to emerge. And if you would like a copy, they're over on the table. We will not be having the meditation coffee social after service next Sunday because it's Easter. And so then you can go enjoy your time with family and or friends. Our Curiosity Corner has been a great success since we started it. We have some new items today and we'll have more next week. We have set up a bargain basement table where everything on that table, right side, on the right side is $1. We have gently used and new books, oracle and tarot cards, CDs, DVDs, everything you'd like. Assorted spiritual and other treasures, cash, check, and carry. We are so blessed to have New Thought Media Network and Diego as our service producer. We invite you to go to www.ntmedia.org and check out what they have. They have over 40 hours of weekly broadcast programs. We are so truly blessed by everyone who has chosen to support us, CSL Denver, by showing up on Sundays or watching online. We know that as we move through the rest of this year, the divine beloved is guiding and loving each and every one of us. Thank you for joining us. Now let's close out with Karen Drucker's singing, I'm So Grateful.
Hey, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that I have. Hey, oh yeah, grateful. I just say I am so grateful every day for all I have. Every day, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all I have. Every day I say it. Grateful. How I'm grateful. Every day. Oh yeah. I am so grateful. Oh yeah. So grateful. 'Cause I accept and I receive. I am so grateful. Oh yes, I am. I am so grateful. Hey, grateful. I'll just count my blessings.